Hello guys and welcome back to Zombie Vega. Today we are in Minecraft in Snapshot 21W06A. Snapshots for 1.17 has been coming out since the beginning of this year and I think this end of last year. And so far we've had quite a few big changes to the game. So what I'm going to do is not review the snapshots itself, but I'm just going to give my opinion on what I think of the current new mechanics, new items added, and just generally what I think is really good and what is actually not that great in these new snapshots for 1.17. Mostly it has been good. Now, if you look at my hotbar here, you'll see I've got the different types of copper, from copper ore, the copper blocks, exposed copper, and weathered copper. Now, this is a really nice addition for me. Even though I am kind of more of a redstoner, I really like to build, and what I really love about this is this actually adds quite a nice look of a weathered feel, and it adds a lot of character to any build. Now, if we swap over, you'll see that let's just clear out a bit here. This is the standard copper block. You get them from copper ore, and then as time passes by, this turns into exposed copper and weather copper. So this block here, as it will be weathered by a random game tick speed, it will change from normal copper to the more weathered look and eventually to the completely weathered look. Now, there's a way to stop this, and this really adds quite a nice variety into your build. You can just let the build naturally weather, or you can then go add beeswax to the standard copper, and that then will stop it in that exact state that it is. So if we look into our copper blocks here, you will see that this is all the different copper blocks. So you would get your copper ore into copper ingots that creates copper blocks, and then you get your different exposed. Now you get stair variants from this, and you get your slabs from these. And as I said, what you can do is you can add uh, beeswax, and you get waxed copper, and then it will stay in this state forever. So from a building perspective, I really like all these new blocks. It really just adds, I mean, just look at this. Just look at all these nice color variations. And if you've got one of these nice builds that have you always had to substitute something out if you want a copper look, you now have the proper copper look for your builds. Now, the next one, which I should be a bit more excited about, but I'm actually not that excited about, is the skulk sensor. Now, the skulk sensor is really cool. I've been playing around a lot with different ones. As you can see, as I'm breaking, you get all these little particles going around and this thing going off. Now, this is actually a redstone component and a wireless redstone component by that. So if you pull a signal from this using a comparator, you will be able to see that it's got two different types of properties, sounds and actions. So me walking around activates it. And if I had to eat something, let's just quickly grab something to eat. We'll just grab a gold apple here. You see that fell, gave me a thing, and this me eating activated it. So it has a lot of potential. Hidden doors, the weird redstone contraptions. Actually, with doors, it's quite nice having this as a door activator. The biggest problem with this is you still it can take a sound from quite a wide range. So I thing, I can't remember the exact, I think it's 7 block radius. You see there it picked up. So you need to use wool blocks to stop any sound from getting to it. So me walking around here, let's see, yeah, me walking around here activates this. But to stop that from picking something up, you need wool. So let's just grab some wool in here. Now, if I take wool and I put this here, it basically, wool stops the sounds. Now, this makes it, this is what makes this a awesome contraption and a not so awesome contraption, because playing around with this, you really need to, it's very limited in making certain contraptions, where if you want to work with mobs which also make sound, you need to make sure that it only activates a contraption when the sound is coming from the right side. You don't want to, for instance, activate a trap door if you're walking here or opening a chest or eating. What you really just want to do is have it activate from here. That means you've got this whole wool section to stop it off. So yes, it is probably one of the nicer redstone components added of late. I really like it. But it is limited, and in the beginning I was a lot more excited about this, but it's now, after playing around with it a bit and looking at all the different things, it is cool, but it is limited. So I think Mojang has done correct in this, that they got it to the perfect level where you don't have to worry about it being overpowered and being the only redstone component that's actually worth anything. It still has a limited use. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more farms around it, but as of now, nice edition, limited. Up next is the Caves and Cliffs update itself. So world generation has changed, and this is probably one of the more interesting things for me. I really like this feature, but as you will notice me going down, this looks a bit different. You'll see there's these geode clusters and quite a bit different, but then also notice that the caves look quite a bit different. So as I am in 21W06, this is the new cave generation that they are testing out. And if we look at my coordinates right now, you'll see that I am minus 37 and going down. The new world generation goes all the way down to minus 64. So where 0 used to be and you had to hit bedrock, you now can go further. Now, just loading into, I've loaded in a few of these worlds and looked at the cave generation. They are amazing. I think I saw this one over here is one of the ones that really interest me. You'll also see that some of the new blocks that are coming to the game, like the lichen, is on the walls. But look at this. Look at this cave generation here. Now, I have night vision on. Otherwise, this would be totally dark. But, I mean, just look at this massive, massive, massive space. If you have an elytra, you can just fly around in this area and just have all this amazing cave structure around you. I really like the new cave generation. They've got 2 different ones that they released in this update. The one I think is spaghetti. The other one is a cheese version. It really looks awesome, in my opinion. And as soon as you start getting on with the new blocks that's going to be added with the cave generation, I think this is going to really come alive as they add the biomes for that. Now, as we are talking about that, let's switch over to that. So I'm just going to take off this. Now, if you look at some of the new blocks, and these are also pretty amazing blocks in my opinion to be adding, is the new dripstone. So dripstone itself will be one of the new things that spawn in the worlds in these caves. And what I really like about this is this adds a whole new dimension and just adds up to the caves. So you will have the dripstone growing all over, and you'll have these pointed dripstone coming all the way down. Now, this is also, uh, as soon as you generate a cave with this, it really looks nice, and you're going to have these huge structures of these. But something else that is pretty nice is it actually has a use apart from just looking pretty. When you break it, it falls and it actually creates damage. And you can also be damaged by this. So if I had to go into survival mode and jump onto this, you can see that I actually take damage from this, apart from that. So it adds a whole bunch of possibilities for farms. You can build with it, create some nice looking things with it. So dripstone, one of the nicer things that they've added in these snapshots. That adds to the new geodes. Now you'll see they've been generating all over that. These purple structures here. They are interesting, and what I also like is around them you get all these new blocks that generate. So this is the actual cave that generates with it. Let's just go into creative mode. So you will see this is the amethyst. On the amethyst you get these, the amethyst clusters. Now they grow naturally on these special amethyst geodes. So this is the budding amethyst that they grow on. Now around them you also get these new blocks, the calcite and the tuff. Now these two add just an extra dimension of adding more color to builds, or people that hate diorites, which really doesn't look nice. This is an alternative to that just gives you that extra bit of texture. This adds to be used in roads. So all in all, I really like a whole bunch of these new blocks. They add to the building experience, so I really like them. Okay, next up is some animals. So two of the ones that they've added is the axolotl and the glow squid that won the whole voting. Now, let's start with the glow squid. The glow squid is an interesting one to add. It's got these particles and they look like they would glow underwater, although they're not an actual light source. So what you do get is when you kill one of these guys, you will see it's got all these nice particles, and if I can just kill this guy, it will drop a glow sack. And I can't seem to kill this guy. And there we go. Killed it. Now it will drop something called a glow sack, and that can be used to add a glow effect to signs and to item frames. Now, it is not really that obvious when you look at it. It adds a nice effect to it. They have a purpose in life, but I'm torn about this one. The one that I really like is these cute guys, the axolotls. Now, there's quite a wow. That's quite a nice show. There's quite a few different variants of these, and they actually have a really nice purpose. If you have a bucket of fish, let's just go, I think it's there. So if I have a bucket of fish, they will actually follow me and become my friend, and they will attack and defend me as their leader or something. They also naturally attack and defend against things like your guardians. If you're raiding a guardian farm and you have these guys uh, in your party, uh, they really serve a purpose, but they also just look amazing. Now they will start spawning in with the new cave generation once that has reached, but yeah, they're really nice. I really like them. They're cute. They've got a purpose. Really nice addition to the game, and I can't wait to start playing with them. As you can see, they literally wiped out all the fish in this area as well. Really, really nice. Okay, that leads us to the bad. Okay, so the bad. Now, this is a current problem within the game itself, and one that everyone that plays the game will understand. Um, it is inventory management. Now, with all these new blocks, including the copper variants, all that, it's going to add just a whole bunch of new blocks that we have to carry around or pick up during a mining session. Now, currently, most people will at some stage get quite a bit of shulker boxes. Shulker boxes are limited, they only give us 27 spots, and we are way beyond. I normally just carry around a whole bunch of shulker boxes. I've got a few in my ender chest, but it really doesn't help. So Mojang has now given us bundles. Now, this is supposed to be help for early game players, and it's easy to craft, but it really doesn't solve the issue. If you look at the bundle, I literally just put a sword in the bundle, and that's it. It didn't really help with much of that. I can put 64 items. Now, what it does help with is if I have a whole bunch of random items that I've got in my inventory, but it really doesn't solve the issue. So if I had to put 32 of these in the fish, all that, yes, I've cleared up some of my inventory, but it just leaves the problem for later, because at a later stage, when I have to then sort these items out, I'm just going to be sitting with a bigger problem. Now, there's quite a few people that have suggested changes to shulker boxes and the way shulker boxes work. Some enchantments. Exumavoid did a really nice video with one of the mods where uh, changes were made with enchantments to shulker boxes. I really like that mod. I think Mojang really needs to look at inventory management, because we literally have the same amount of inventory space that we had right in the beginning. And with the amount of items that we currently have, it's becoming pretty much unmanageable. This is currently what you can pick up mostly. And as you can see, there's it's just an endless cycle of new items. Now that just brings us back to something else that is really not that great. Most of you playing, or most of us playing on Java, use something called Optifine. So what Mojang have added is the spyglass. Now it's better than they had at the beginning. It adds some sort of Optifine to the game. You can see there's you can zoom in, and it's quite nice. It can zoom quite far. Nice sound effect, but it still limits your view, and that is I just feel I will not probably use this. I will probably stick to something like Optifine to zoom in and out, because I want to have the full view of what's going on. I don't want to have a limited view, although it's a nice touch and a lot of people might use it. It's something that I probably won't ever use in the game itself. A few other mentions before we end this video. They are adding quite a bit of extra light sources. Now, this is pretty nice. I remember that Lycan is a light source. You got all these new candles right at the bottom. Let's just go get these candles. Candles can be crafted as well. Lycan can be farmed. And the other light source is the glow berries that you get. Just find them, glow berries. So I will talk about this more once we get closer to them generating within the caves itself. Lichen will be something that sits on the ground itself. Candles can be crafted and you can place them. This is a nice extra addition for building. And of course, glowberries is a new thing that you can farm or you can eat. And also will generate with the caves, but as I said, we'll look at them again in a few snapshots time when they are added to the generation. But guys, that is my thoughts on the current snapshots of 1.17. The good is really good. I really like everything that they've been adding. I do think that they're trying to work on the inventory. I just feel that they need to change a bit more on that. It's lacking. We still need something done about inventory. I think everyone needs it and wants it. So overall, so far with the snapshots, it's really nice. I can't wait to start a world in that. Play down in the caves, make a really nice base with all these new items, and start playing with some of the redstone. Um, but until next time, guys, this has been Zombie Vega. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. If you want to see more of this, hit the subscribe. Until next time, bye.